What do you expect of me? How much you about this discussion on email, in which we have the paper trail, is that they're having this discussion before the advert is even posted. Okay, bro, we're going to organize you this job. No, we're going to pay you this much. No, we must still advertise the position. So we're going to waste all those 30 odd other people that are going to apply for the job. We're going to waste their time and we're going to waste their money because we've already decided that you're going to get this job. Now, if this was happening in a municipality that was governed by the ANC or the EFF, our communities would have been outraged. We'd have been talking about it. Oh, yeah, don't talk about the white community. Oh, you could have said, I told you, Maggie, I told you, these people are fucking corrupt, man. They can't do anything right. But this happened in the city of Cape Town, run by the DA, in a department that is governed by Alderman J.P. Smith. And now nobody's saying nothing. It's as if a white man's corruption is acceptable. Or maybe it is. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm confused. But the lid was blown on this. The city hired Cliff Decker to do an investigation. I'm assuming that this action by the city was done under duress because the city doesn't move against anything J.P. Smith does. Cliff Decker, at a cost of 1 million rand, that's your tax money, 1 million rand. They make a finding because Richard Bosman throws J.P. Smith under the bus. Well, not J.P. Smith, excuse me, before I get sued. He says he was placed under immense political pressure. And I quote it. And Cliff Decker say, Robbie Roberts must not be appointed. This decision must be overruled, overturned, and J.P. Smith must be dealt with. The city of Cape Town takes this 1 million rand report, wipes its ass with it and puts it in a drawer. And there it stays for years. Robbie Roberts assumes the position of commissioner. Within local government, there's no such position. There's no position called commissioner. But staff are expected to address him as commissioner. They are supposed to salute him. But he's a civilian. At best, he's a peace officer. As commissioner voor and as commissioner after. But this is Metro Police. And these guys are, in actual fact, police officers. And they are taking instruction from a civilian who's called commissioner. Now, make this make sense. Dat speel julle army hier in die city of Cape Town met ons teksgeld. So Robbie Roberts is probably paid, what, 1.5, 1.7 million rand a year for a position that never existed, a position that they created, for a title that cannot be used. Brandon Ford, you can feel free to chip in whenever you want to. And Robbie Roberts is giving instruction to policemen and women from a position that shouldn't exist. So Commissioner Roberts, sy was mos 'n generaal in die diens in my bureau. Now, let me explain something to you. Robbie Roberts was a policeman who served under apartheid, trained by apartheid. He has no problem using apartheid laws. He displayed this yesterday. And if fuck it, you can take me to court. I'm ready. Take me to tell JP to put John Riley on it again. Because we're about to ask what you guys are spending on certain attorneys in the city as well. But Robbie Roberts assumes an office which doesn't exist anywhere but in his and JP's minds. Because we actually have the founding document of Metro Police and law enforcement. And it doesn't speak to your officer. There's no such thing. So any policeman who is required to take an instruction from the commissioner, let me make this plain. You're not supposed to. Because that position doesn't exist, because he's acting in that position illegally. As a matter of fact, you see all these meetings where the Metro heads go, where Robbie sits in. I'm told he was in Parliament as well. So when I kak nou ko try, I'll put you out of that meeting myself, because you don't belong there. But when the public protector makes the ruling that the Cliff Deputy report is right, that you shouldn't be in your position, Robbie, I hope you saved all that money that you were earning, because we're going to hound you to make sure that you pay it back, because that should never have happened. But yesterday you actually pissed me off, because yesterday I stumbled across some screenshots. Now, this waar ek regtig bevolk. So about 50 people attend a peaceful protest that they had permission. I wouldn't have asked for permission, but they had permission to go to the protest. And this apartheid trained policeman, who's now earning your tax money in a position that he shouldn't be in, right? Assuming an office that doesn't exist is giving instructions on the group. He's barking instructions at qualified, competent metro officers. He's telling these people, I want this and I want that. And let me tell you what he wants. He wants profiling done on the people in that crowd for a lawfully sanctioned protest. Lawfully sanctioned, peaceful protest. He wants these people profiled. He wants their faces. He wants their vehicle registration numbers. Now I ask you, to what end? If these people are a threat to nobody, why do you want their personal information? This is the reason JP Smith's department bought all these drones. It had fuck all to do with your safety or your security. It had everything to do with victimizing our people. Why are those drones not up in the air in the red zones, JP Smith?
Good question.
Why are they not identifying the shooters and the killers and the drug dealers, JP Smith? Why are you putting the drones up to watch a crowd of 40 people waving nothing but posters?
That equipment is nowhere when it's needed.
It's because those drones were never meant to serve our communities. It was all about the information that you can gather on, as you people call it, people of interest. People of interest, not the criminals that live on the Atlantic seaboard, not the real drug dealers that live in Constantia and Bishop's Court, the ones that wear suits, that drive to work in S-Class Benzes.
No, it's
It
meant
was
for
all
us.
about victimizing our people, profiling our people. And I would actually go out on a limb and say, maybe we should ask the question, is this apartheid-style racial profiling? Is this what you're about, Alderman J.P. Smith? Because we understand where Robbie Roberts comes from, you know. He comes from an era where you'd probably hear, "Wat not moenie laat jou skade weer aan my raakie vark." We get it. We understand. I've never once heard Petrus say that he's enlightened. I'm not saying he's for Trump, I'm just telling you where he comes from. But I've heard you claim to be, JP, this non-racialist, this fine, upstanding example of what a Mako should be until your office got raided. So, now that we know that you people broke the Popeye Act, you're probably wondering what my next move is now. Let me tell you what. I'm going to be dumb enough to tell you what it is.
Don't tell
My
them.
next move
Don't.
is on Wednesday morning. At about 7:30, we lay criminal charges.
Helen's
Because
gonna
there's
wait
a
for
clear
you there,
intent to
Press.
commit
Don't do
fraud
that.
on the part of Commissioner Petrus Roberts and Richard Bosman. So we will be laying those charges. We will be taking the paper trail to SAPS and we will be watching your poopole do this again. So sien, ons JP, as jy dom on nie. We know how to work you, like you thought you knew how to work us. See, you and I, we're going to be bumping heads a lot over the next few. I don't know however long it is you're going to be in office. If, as some people say, the Hawks are coming, probably not long. If the Hawks don't come, boss, I'm going to give you a stroke. I promise you this. Because what you people do and what you take us for, not in 2025, motherfucker. Now, I think his name is Michael. Uh, Michael, what's his name? Mikalakis or something like that, no? The DA's chief whip. You should start recording this video as well to send to the ethics committee. Because I understand that when white privilege is attacked, you people lay complaints. I understand that when white privilege is attacked, you people feel victimized. I understand when we demand equality and the respect of our basic human rights, you people feel offended. The ethics committee, somewhere in parliament, go lay another charge. See if I give a shit. So, yeah, JP, this is not going to be a fun year. I got a feeling that Bosman is probably going to stick to his narrative that he was placed under immense political pressure to do this thing, to get Petrus Roberts employed in the city of Cape Town on a multi-million rand contract. The political pressure, we know where it came from, but we leave it for the courts to decide. So, Auntie Helen Zille, jou botox gesiggie, pruimpie wat is 'n pruimpie wil lykie? Wagel van my. If you thought that I've been bad over the last 4 years, here I get it. I'm about to get putrid. The next 2 years, I'll call it 16 months, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt your party, it's gonna hurt your brand, it's gonna hurt what's left of your soul. You see, all these crimes that you people have committed against
Do
our
they even
people,
have a soul?
all of it. The empowerment of the gangs through contracts, the creation of shitholes like Blikkiesdorp, the sale of our land, you're gonna pay for it.
En
You're gonna
Velodrome,
fucking pay.
Belleville, Velodrome, they want to sell it.
Tepi, come I'll give you the worst case scenario for you. The absolute worst case. For you, not for us. If NCC does well in the next election, if the Patriotic Alliance does well in the next election, if other small parties as little as double their votes in the next election, you people are not in government in the city of Cape Town. You know what I'm going to do? I don't want the position. I'm not interested in the mayor's chain. I don't want to be a millionaire or a billionaire. I got no interest in any of that. I'm only going to have one demand, is that we do a 15-year audit on everything that happened in the Department of Safety and Security. Everything. And for everything we find wrong, we're going to the Hawks. And for everything that points to a direction that looks like, you must know, ons gaan julle pan. Now, loosen your fluffy dogs. Maak hulle los. Let them make their stupid posts. And watch what we do. Because you know what the sad thing is? The sad thing is that, and it's really cuck sad, there's people that live in the same shithole that the rest of us live, that take offense when we speak back to the master.
We
When
have
I
the
saw
right.
what Petrus Roberts did yesterday, toe sê ek regtig spyt ek het jou nie gemoer hier voor die polisiestasie ry dag nie. Regtig spyt. But you know what? Forget going to parliament. Forget getting your people locked up over that staircase theft. Forget all the other things that we got right. My finest moment in politics was to see the fear in your fucking eyes that day when you understood that here's a color that's going to kick me in my moor today.
To trek hy pink.
I know fear when I see it. It was
Hy
good
pink,
to
hy
see
pink getrek.
fear in your eyes. Now, I also understand that tonight there's 3 people that will be taking anxiety tablets, probably be dropping allergics as well to help them smoke, help them sleep, because it's going to be an uncomfortable couple of nights. and I love it. But I didn't come here to hold you up all night. I just felt for those of you that didn't know, understand that there are people that rule us, that put drones in the air when it comes to the Atlantic seaboard to keep a handful of Zionists rich. I'm happy.
And rich.
They put your tax money in the air to watch you. Those drones were supposed to make your area safer. Before I let you go,
Where is the drones in the
if
Cape
ever you
Flats?
want to understand how desperate the DA is, I wanna read something to you. This, and the DA councillors are posting this cut. And it says, get ready for the biggest game changer yet in Cape Town safety and security. Following the success of LEAP and Project 1000, the city is now ready to take it up to the next level. See how it sounds, huh? The mayor will be tabling the draft budget for 2025-2026 at the council meeting next week, which includes a huge investment in safety and security. Here's what we propose for inclusion in the draft budget. More firefighters, a significant boost in the budget for the I can't even know. A significant boost in budget for the fires and rescue services, with many more firefighters to help combat the increased number of fires we face every year. Dedicated Metro Police area teams. Every ward in Cape Town will get its own dedicated group of young, fully qualified and equipped Metro Police officers. They'll work closely with community structures, SAPs and neighborhood watch patrollers to become champions of safety. Each team will adopt a community policing approach, understand the unique challenges and difficulties faced in each ward. Extra deployment. Kykie, this is the same kak you promised us when you took that R1 billion from education and said you were going to make us safer. Now we sit with classrooms of 90 children in a class because you took R1 billion from education and promised us the same. They're promising you, listen, Metro Police in your ward, every ward in Cape Town. This is the same people that told you they were going to give Bonteville 100 law enforcement officers. They put it on parade. I saw it. There was 100 law enforcement officers. It was in the newspaper, it was on TV, it was on radio. And when the cameras were gone, law enforcement left. Are we going to fall with the same cuck again? Are we seriously going to do this? Notice they don't put any totals in. So if they give you two Metro Police officers in your ward, that's what they promised you right there? I can promise you now that if Netreg or Krief gaat get 2 Metro Police officers, Constantia will get 4. That if Lavendale gets 3, Welgemoot will get 6. You have to understand the game they play. They play a psychological game. They feed on our fear. And then some of us still demand that we respect these people.
We have no more
Ek het nie respek vir
fear.
ons nie.
We fear no more.
These are animals. These are Zionists. They think nothing of us. They think less of our children. These people must go. They've given us 8 law enforcement officers for a fucking gang war that is raging across, what is it, 200 square meters. 8 law enforcement officers, but they gave 30 to Camps Bay. There's no gangsters in Camps Bay. Oh, there are gangsters in Camps Bay, but they're the gangsters that sell the drugs wholesale. There's no shootings in Camps Bay. Camps Bay got 32 fucking officers. Lavendale, Capricorn, Bonteville, Heideveld, Netreg, Menenberg. 8. Now understand that I can roll these areas off my tongue because I walk in these areas, because I live in these areas, because I got family in these areas. JP can't find these areas without GPS, and he can't walk these areas without bodyguards, because they understand that it's not safe. Until they take the podium and have to tell you how safe your area is. But I got a fucking army of bodyguards behind me because my area is safe. So yeah, I've referred this matter of what Petrus Roberts did to the police minister. I have urged the police minister to act on this. I am going to lay criminal charges. I will be pushing the public protector hard to finalize this thing. Because this crime that was committed with the appointment of this man You know what the sad thing is? I think there's only two new political parties in the city of Cape Town. I think it's us and Escape Exit. Or it's us, Escape Exit, and what's the other stupid parties now? I can't get to it now. There's three new parties. Now, you must understand, Cape Exit and that other party, they don't speak for
Referendum.
us. They
Referendum
speak
party.
for white privilege. They don't speak for us. They're like softer versions of the DA. Now I ask you, all the other parties that sit in that council that claim to speak for you, they've been there before. They supervised and watched the appointment of Petrus Roberts as a commissioner in an office which didn't exist at a cost of probably 1.5 million rand a year for the last few years. They've done nothing about it. They've not objected to it. They've not written. They've not complained. They've not laid charges. Fuck all. Maar hulle almal staan vir ons kinders. I will leave you with that. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you for tuning in, watching our President Fadiel Adams live. Tonight he did not have a lot to say, but what he had to say was very, very important. And we need to be aware of the so-called equipment used for our safety and security are now being used to surveil us. It is not being used to protect us, it is being used to surveil us. And why is the DA hosting Zionist events still in the city of Cape Town? We do not have a lot of time. 2026 may seem far, but this is the time that these people use to start selling all prime pieces of land. Luckily, the court overruled that selling that piece of land on Tafelberg was unlawful and illegal, and thus it was overturned and they had to reverse that transaction. Right? And that only happens when we as the people stand up, because an organization by the name of Reclaim the City spearheaded that operation. If it weren't for community activists like them, we would have lost that piece of property. Similarly, the DA is trying now to sell off Bellville Velodrome Stadium, citing that it is too expensive to bring it back up to standard. But who is responsible for letting it degrade in the first place? Why was it not maintained? Where is the money that was allocated for maintenance for all these years? You see, this is the strategy. Look at Newland Stadium. Look how Newland Stadium look. These are all prime pieces of property that they are letting degrade, neglecting it, so that they can have an excuse to say it is too expensive to repair or to maintain, and the only option is to sell it into private hands. If they want to sell it into private hands, I say give the community an opportunity to see if they can raise funds so the community can buy it and own it as a collective. Because if you sell such property into personal private hands, where one entity dictates who has access to that facility, you can forget that the average person on the ground will no longer enjoy access to those facilities, because entrance fee will be introduced where we were usually not you paying entrance fees. Like for example, Blue Downs Sports Stadium, we don't pay entry fees to go and practice sports or exercise there. But now if they are going to sell it into private hands, we need to have a membership, pay an entry fee or something to that effect for us to have access to that facility. So now we need to bring awareness and protest. We don't need to stand in the street and protest. Email your ward councillor, especially if they are a DA ward councillor. Tell them you do not want the DA to sell Velodrome. The Belleville Velodrome, because that is an iconic piece of facility whereby many of us in our school years growing up, we did many sports activities there, like your athletics. Myself, I was in a dance group, in Afrikaans they call it volksdansies. I won a trophy the first year, and the second year third place, because this is the kind of memories I have about these places. And to hear that the DA now want to sell it into private hands, it only tells me what kind of experience my children will be missing out on. What your children will be missing out on. I mean, our churches would have events at the Velodrome. And now they will have to pay huge fees to have access to that facility again. Because this private entity, whoever they are planning to sell it to, is most probably a Zionist, and they're gonna break it down and rebuild it into something different, and then it's gonna be too expensive for the average person to have access to. But then again, I don't want to keep you like the president said he doesn't want to keep you. I just wanted to share with you the life that he has done, and also share with you. And I'm gonna do a more in-depth story about this, because I've gone to a sports stadium to, interview people. How do they feel about the fact that the DA now wants to sell the Belleville Velodrome? And what was a very weird experience for me is the young people. They did not know how to respond, because this type of stuff don't even register in their psyche. They will only take note of these things once they are adults, grown-ups. Only then will they realize, but by then it will be too late. But yeah, this is Marshall sharing a life of the president, Fadiel Adams. And I hope you enjoyed what he had to say, but I will catch you in the next one. Peace.